Good morning.
Good morning.
Q&A with the docs. So we are here to answer any and all questions that you might have.
I'm Dr. Jennifer Taylor.
And I'm Dr. Christy Porterfield. We're with HealthWorks, the Family Wellness Center in Plano, Texas. So we have for our Platinum and Gold members here at HealthWorks a survey that we sent out way ahead of time with a bunch of questions about
We got some really good ones.
Yeah, we have some good ones about things that you might want to know. So we're going to get right to it. Okay. So the first question was, if you could change anything about how your body worked, what would it be? So first answer is speed up metabolism.
Well, one of the things we have to really understand is that speeding up your metabolism, there is no pill, there is nothing special you can add to your morning smoothie to speed up your metabolism. What you need to do is make sure that all those processes are functioning properly so your metabolism is as it should be.
Yeah, so a lot of times I think that when we're trying to be sold a product, you know, it makes it sound a lot more simple than it really is. So for instance, you know, you can buy this pill and you can speed up your metabolism, or if you just add, you know, this wonder fruit from the Amazon to your smoothie,
Yes.
then all of a sudden you have the metabolism of a 12-year-old.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
No. It doesn't happen.
No.
So it's metabolism is it's a little bit of a bigger question than just like what can I do to speed up my metabolism. Really, I think what the bigger question is how can I get my body to work better so that it processes things the way that it's supposed to.
Right. With, you know, and a lot of these questions too in this particular area has to do with losing weight. Speeding up your metabolism, that's, you know, how can I speed it up so I can lose weight faster? Really, it's avoiding some things. There's one thing in general, you've probably heard of high fructose corn syrup or corn syrup in general. That actually can block your body's ability for leptin. Leptin tells you you're full. So for those of you that are right now sitting in your cube watching us, and you sit all day in front of a computer, well, what's happening is your body's not moving, and you're maybe aimlessly going towards the candy bowl and your coworker's desk, or even just have something in your drawer that you're mindlessly eating because your body says it's not full. And high fructose corn syrup found in most processed foods, it's in the Coca-Cola you had for lunch or will be having for lunch, and it actually tells your brain that you need more food.
Yeah. It's in a lot of other places too, so I think sometimes people will be like, okay, I know I should avoid Coke, or I know I should avoid candy, but you know, when I was first in this health journey, I was really surprised to find that it was in things like bread. So you think
Ketchup.
Yeah, ketchup. Things that you can find great alternatives to, but if you're not aware to look for it, you can be getting a lot of high fructose corn syrup and not even realize it.
Yeah. They're actually changing the name too. They're calling it corn sugar.
Yeah.
Now, so you really have to read labels. They're making it really difficult for us to eat healthy.
Yeah, so it got a bad rap. So what happened? It wasn't taken out of things. Instead, it got rebranded into a brand new, same, still bad item.
Right.
So. Hey, Brent.
Hi.
Okay, so to just summarize, number one, metabolism isn't something that you can just rev up, take a pill or a magic substance of any sort. Instead, it's more about your body processes and making sure that you are giving your body what it needs and avoiding things like high fructose corn syrup, which are gonna make you feel like you're a lot more hungry than you are because it cuts off the way that your body should work. So, yeah. Okay, next question. Figuring out how to get rid of fat around the stomach. And then there's a couple more that also deal with kind of a similar, like how to lose weight or get rid of belly fat.
Yeah. Belly fat, you know, the majority of our fat cells are in our stomach. It's called the omentum. It's what cushions our organs. It keeps them safe. So one of the, not just to keep our organs safe, but also Fat cells, we're born with a certain number of fat cells. And when you ingest toxins, your fat cells do you a really big favor. They actually wall off those toxins. So number one, if you have excess belly fat, I want you to thank your body right now. Because what it's doing is it's...
Tough news,
I know. But you have to thank your body because it's doing something really smart. What it's doing is it's walling off those toxins that we're taking in through our water, through our food and whatnot, sometimes even through the products that we use, even like toothpaste. So we want to make sure that those toxins are being walled off so they don't kill us. So your body's doing something really smart and really good for you. But over time, as we have more and more of those toxins in our body and more of those fat cells walling off the toxins, the fat cells get bigger and bigger and bigger. So when those fat cells get bigger, that's when you start seeing that belly fat. So one of the things to lose belly fat is detoxification. There's so many different ways that you can do that. And, you know, at this point right now, getting into that is maybe just taking some of those toxic things out of your lifestyle.
Molly, that's so funny. Yeah, it's doing you a favor.
Yeah.
She says, I knew there was a reason I loved it.
Right. Love the belly. Just thank your body first. I know sometimes we think our bodies are trying to work against us, but really it's doing some things very, very, very smart and to keep you alive.
Yeah, that's so true. I think a lot of times we look at a symptom that our body has, whether it's belly fat or pain or fatigue, and we get really frustrated at our body. We're like, okay, body, listen up. We're going to like march in this direction. You're going to listen. You're going to just pay attention, and we're going to get rid of this belly fat, or we're going to have more energy, or whatever it is. But your body is basically a huge feedback system. So it's trying to tell you what's going on. And so in the case of belly fat, we have mainly a toxicity issue, whether it's coming from things that we're knowingly getting through what we're eating, or if it's things environmentally. So just as a byproduct of living in today's modern world, we have a lot of environmental factors that, it's tough. We have to work to constantly help our body with the detoxing.
There's never been another time in history where we actually have to worry about what we're eating and what we're drinking.
Yeah,
never.
I mean, it's ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah. So we're not going to stress you out with everything that's going on.
So sorry.
Yeah. But we are going to give you, some pointers to make sure that just take a few things out of your diet. Read labels. Simply read labels. I love all the love that we're getting on the screen right now. It's fantastic.
Love you too. So the other part of belly fat specifically, is, we can put on weight overall with toxicity, but specifically belly fat speaks a lot to stress. So you've probably heard of something called cortisol, or a stress response.
There's a pill for that.
Oh, there's a pill? Well,
yes.
Thank goodness.
Yes, there is a pill for that to reduce cortisol. Have you heard of that?
Well, let's just stop this video here.
You can see those commercials.
Our work is done. There's a pill.
Yeah, that's it. Sign off.
But back to reality.
Yes.
Again, cortisol is something that is there to help you, and it prepares your body for whatever stressful event is coming up. But the tough thing about living in our modern day society is that we've got a lot of stressful things coming at us all the time, and it's not all things that we can actually deal with.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
so
we can't change the air we breathe.
Yeah. Or the radio frequency.
Right. Right. There's certain things we can't deal with.
Or you can just stress yourself out more trying to.
Yeah, and there goes cortisol. Right through the roof.
Or say watching the news and you've got some tragedy that's unfortunately happening half a world away, which you really have no control over.
Right.
But then you have a sleepless night and you're stressed about it.
Yeah.
So just limiting the stressors that you can, take control of the areas that you can, let go of the areas that you can't, and sorry, no magic pill.
No.
Yeah.
I know. Don't shoot the messenger.
Okay, next question is aches and pains that are caused by inflammation.
Inflammation. Now that's the biggest buzzword right now, isn't it?
It's a yeah. People are starting to understand, and
all lifestyle diseases start with inflammation. That's where it comes from. Cancer, autoimmune diseases, high blood pressure. You know, what did I already say? Heart disease. Diabetes.
Not fat.
Yeah, right. Not fat. It all starts with inflammation. So one of the main causes of inflammation is sugar. Number one. We already touched on high fructose corn syrup, but the number one cause of inflammation is sugar. Now, for 70 years, we had information that we should eat 6 to 12 servings of pasta and bread every day. We always forgot about where we could get those really good carbs. Vegetables, fruit, those carbohydrates from our root vegetables, even dairy. If you can tolerate dairy, dairy is an awesome carbohydrate, and your body can use it.
Hey, Mike.
Hi. So we have to focus on what our body is eating and what can cause our body inflammation. Right now, there are such things as different food sources that are completely contaminated that are causing inflammation. I mean, you can just look at corn, for instance. Corn is, high in B vitamins. It's one of the things that we can actually, it can be a good grain. But when you're looking at genetically modified corn, which I believe is at 95% of GMO corn, that's what is on our table. It's what is in our food, what is in the grocery stores. And there's actually a toxin in there that you can't wash off. It's part of the genetic code that is embedded within that corn that actually creates a pesticide factory in your gut.
Yeah.
Isn't that gross?
It's gross.
Yeah, the reason why it works as a pesticide is when a bug chews on the corn, it makes your stomachs explode.
But this is completely safe for you to eat.
Completely
safe. The research has been done. Closed book.
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat it.
No. So next time you're noshing on all that, 3 to 4 baskets of chips at your local Mexican food restaurant, I know they're good.
They're really good.
They're excellent, especially when they got really good salsa.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah.
Okay, so where can you buy or even find corn that's safe to buy? So, good news, organic corn. You can get organic corn chips at pretty much any store. I don't think you even have to go to Whole Foods now to find organic corn chips.
Just go organic.
Yeah, so the tough news is that likely you're not going to get it when you go out to eat Mexican, which, makes Mexican a whole heck of a lot less fun.
I've actually thought about this recently, that they don't charge, good Mexican restaurants, they don't charge for chips and salsa, right? It's like free, it just comes on the table. If they don't charge for it, can you just bring your own?
Try it and let's see.
Okay, it's an experiment.
Corn can be a good grain, just say no to GMO. Yep, that's exactly it. Yeah.
I like that.
Right on. Okay, so, if you could change one thing about how your body works, what would it be? I'd like to go back 40 years. Yeah. Let me know how that works. Secret. I'd be -2.
3.
Sorry.
I don't want to be 3 again.
I don't want to be -2 again. -2 might not be that bad, but then you'd have to go through the teenage years again.
Oh, yeah, couldn't pay me enough.
Okay, so we talked about inflammation. Is all corn bad for you? Hey, Flo.
Hi.
So no, not all corn is bad for you. So there are times when you would want to be on a grain-free diet. So this is one of Dr. Taylor's favorite subjects.
Yeah. Healing, especially if you have a lot, if you're suffering, and we'll get into this here soon with autoimmune diseases and lifestyle diseases. If you have significant inflammation, grains like corn, rice, wheat, things like that, can actually cause more inflammation because those kind of diseases, they actually start in the gut. And when you eat these grains, it can be like scraping a Brillo pad across road rash. So it continues that inflammatory process. So for a period of time, taking grains out of your diet can actually start that healing process.
Yeah.
And eventually, and what does it take? Usually between about 1 to 2 years, depending on the person, and you have to be very diligent with it to really heal it 100%.
Yeah.
But eventually you can start adding back in these grains. And I would do it one at a time. One at a time. I would start with the non-gluten grains first and see how your body responds over a 30-day period. Just one back in at a time. And you'll find that if you add in back the organic ones, add back in, say, wheat even. If you add in not your regular wheat, but maybe an einkorn wheat that is naturally high in fiber, high in protein, and lower in gluten.
And that's EINKORN.
O-R-N. E-I-N-K-O-R-N. It's einkorn. It's an unadulterated wheat. It's never been touched by science. It's exactly the way it was a long time ago.
Oh, and crazy how that's better for you.
Yeah. I mean,
I think we're starting to see a theme here.
I think so too. Oh, Denise.
Hey, Denise.
You took some bag your own chips to a Mexican restaurant?
Catch
them out of sight, your lap. I'm going to try it. And I'm going to put them on the table. So I'll get back with you
pictures
on
or it
that.
never happened.
Yes. There will be pictures. There will be pictures. I want to try it. I've been thinking about it. But adding them back in, grains can be a healthy part of your diet. But for some people at certain times in their lives, it raises blood sugar. I mean, grains shoot your blood sugar up. Within, 20 minutes of eating a bowl of oatmeal, it can shoot your blood sugar up, 30, 40 points.
I just had a patient who's monitoring her blood sugar pretty rigorously, and she found that just eating some jicama raised hers significantly. So, so reasons you'd want to avoid grain. Any sort of autoimmune issue.
Any.
So autoimmune issues are everything from rheumatoid arthritis,
lupus, MS, type 1 diabetes.
Yes.
Fibromyalgia.
Crohn's disease, fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
So if you need more information on that, just like do a Google search. What are autoimmune diseases? We'll do that dinner, Karen.
Okay.
Bring your own chips.
BYOC. I like it.
And, a little kombucha. Pretty soon we'll have a whole meal.
There you go.
Just be there for the ambiance.
Yeah.
And then also if you have any blood sugar issues. So if you're having sugar handling issues, you're going to want to avoid grains too, because it's too much on your body. It's taxing.
Yeah. So, but once that inflammation goes down, once you actually have a handle on those particular health challenges, then you can start adding things back in. You've got to test the waters.
Yeah.
But you have to be very careful and very deliberate about it. And I would say I wouldn't add anything in. It would be a 30-day period. Add one thing in.
Yeah.
And monitor your body.
Yeah. So right now we're going through, for years and years and years, we went through this whole thing where fat was bad and carbs were good. It's in the 80s, we're like doing aerobics and eating rice cakes. Well, the tide has turned, and now we're vilifying carbs too. And so, but the truth is that we need carbs, we need fat, we need protein. It's all part of what our body needs. But some of us we need a healing diet is what it is. It's a specific healing diet for a specific problem. And it's not that carbs or even all grains are bad. Where we do have to be careful is where it's been just modified too much, the GMO deals. It's never going to be good for us. So it just kind of depends on where you're at in your health as far as what kind of a diet, if you need a healing diet.
What approach you need.
Yeah.
What approach you need.
Yeah.
So, and that's something we can help you with on an individual basis. So if you are wanting to do that, that's something we can definitely walk you through step by step.
Okay, so next questions are top health-related issues that you struggle with the most. So emotional issues. That's a little broad.
Yeah, it's a little broad, but we were just talking about the gut. And I'm not sure if you realize this, but your gut and your brain are completely connected.
Like best friends.
They really are. You can't do one thing without affecting another. The majority, if you have emotional issues or you even watch television, you have heard the word serotonin.
Yeah.
Serotonin is the feel-good neurotransmitter.
Yeah.
Now, we think of that as a neurotransmitter, meaning brain. You actually have about 80 to, and some studies actually show more, but at least 80 up to 90% of serotonin not in your brain. It's in your gut. It's manufactured by the good guys, the good bacteria, the good flora. Probiotics, yes, in your gut. And so if your gut isn't healthy, you can't be healthy. So you've ever heard how food affects your mood?
Yeah.
What you eat is affecting your brain health. It's affecting your happiness, affecting your joy. It's affecting the very chemical that creates that feeling of well-being.
So there's two resources that I want to point out for you on this. Number one, Britt McCrary recently did a great video on how to do 21-day sauerkraut and brew your own kombucha. Yeah. So how does this even relate? Okay.
Go for it.
Hold on, let me back up a little bit. One of the things that almost all traditional cultures do is eat fermented foods that have those happy, feel-good probiotics in them. And so those are the guys that produce the serotonin. And so in our modern diets, we need to eat some fermented foods, or at the very least take a probiotic. So Britt did a video on how to make the 21-day sauerkraut. It is excellent. There's also a bit at the end about how to make kombucha, another really great fermented beverage. And then also on our YouTube video, I'm going to put up this afternoon just a little overview on probiotics. If you want to take it in the pill form, there's a few different ones that we've kind of, we've curated through all the ones that are available out there, and there's 3 that we have in the office that are really, really good. So that will be on our YouTube at HealthWorksTX, YouTube at HealthWorksTX. So. Hey, okay, I was told that the bananas we are buying are bad because of the way they are processed in order to ship them before they go bad. Is that true? I don't know.
I haven't actually heard that.
No.
I do know that bananas do have a pretty thick skin on them, so it's not one of the ones that I necessarily worry about having to purchase organic. I do know that if they were shipped over we don't really grow a lot of bananas in Texas. Usually they're tropical regions, so they're coming from a long way if you're going to eat a banana.
That would be awesome.
Yes. So, have you ever had a banana that didn't necessarily ripen, like it didn't get the little brown spots on it, but it just kind of stayed a little bit green and turned brown and hard? That means they were kept too cold in the container, so they don't actually have a chance to ripen.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that I do know. I am really not sure about the quality or health.
Well, just to expound on that a little bit, so when our fruits or vegetables are grown so far away and then they're shipped to us, in order for them still to be not rotten, by the time they get to us, they are picked way underripe.
Yeah.
And the thing about a fruit or vegetable is that as it ripens on the vine, it becomes more and more nutrient dense, and it's at its perfect spot when it would just fall off the vine.
Yeah. Effortlessly picking it off.
Yes, effortlessly pick off. So just by nature, when we buy things that are so far away, we just don't get the full nutrient value of it. So this is why you want to eat local.
Eat local and in season.
And in season, yeah. Support your local farmers. And something like bananas, we're not, like Dr. Taylor said, we don't have any banana farms here in Plano. So if you want bananas, you just kind of have to go with the ones that are shipped in. But as far as bananas specifically, I don't know about that one.
I'm going to write that down. I'm going to look that up for you. That Flo, I'm going to look that up for you, okay? I'm writing it down right now. If I don't write it down, it doesn't happen.
Later she'll say, why does my notepad say bananas?
Say bananas. I'm going to put bananas for Flo. I'll remember that.
Kombucha is amazing. I had someone recently, they were like, oh, it tastes like leftovers. And I was like, what? Don't talk about my kombucha that way. That's my baby, I grew it.
That's true. A lot of those.
Okay, so next question, health related the health thing that you struggle with the most. So this one is a big long list. Cholesterol, sleep apnea, diabetes, fibromyalgia, and RA. So, boy, we're not going for the specific questions here, are we?
Yeah, no. You know, why don't I just take on cholesterol here? Because I think, I mean, that's kind of near and dear to my heart. Because I kind of get really worked up about it.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah. So I have a pad and a pen here, a pink Sharpie, because I want to make you more comfortable with your numbers. I want you to understand what cholesterol is, because it's not as scary as you think. Cholesterol is the most important hormone your body makes, the most important substance. It is the precursor to practically everything. Remember we just talked about serotonin? You cannot manufacture serotonin without cholesterol. How many of you out there are vitamin D deficient? Raise your hand.
Oh, so many of you.
Yes. You cannot take in vitamin D from this wonderful sun we're getting right now. Especially living here in Texas, you know, closer to the equator where you are, the more sun you get, the more vitamin D that you can get. Those with darker skin colors, you need as much cholesterol as you can have, because in order to take that sunlight and turn it into that usable form of vitamin D, you need cholesterol.
Yeah. It helps with your thinking too.
Yeah. I mean, we all have fat heads.
Well,
was
hopefully
60%? We need cholesterol for our brains to function properly. We need cholesterol to make all of our sex hormones. I mean,
talk about hormone balance. Well,
you need
gotta have your fat.
You have to have it. So let me kind of just go through everything just really quickly. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but I think this is really important to understand this, because we're all so afraid of cholesterol.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab this and we're gonna look at Dr. Taylor's pad here as she. Okay.
All right.
All right, we're turning around. Okay.
All right. So we have
wait.
You got it?
Hold on.
All right.
Oh, so sorry. I hope you're not getting dizzy, you guys. Okay.
Okay, we have HDL and we have LDL. Okay? Everybody knows, we've been told that HDL is your so-called good cholesterol. Okay? HDL, what it does is it goes to our body. From the liver, everything starts in your liver. So both of these right here are made from your liver.
So happy liver, happy life.
Yes. So HDL actually goes out into your body, and any cholesterol that wasn't used in those processes we mentioned, like creating the good neurotransmitters, making sure you get your usable form of vitamin D, making sex hormones, covering your nerve endings, going to your brain to make it function better. Whatever cholesterol was not used in the body, HDL goes out, it gets that cholesterol and brings it back to the liver for recycling. Cholesterol is so important that our body doesn't want to get rid of any of it. Doesn't want to get rid of any of it. It wants to make sure that it always has enough of it so it comes back for recycling. That's what HDL does. LDL are bad cholesterol, the bad guy.
Did you get the air quotes? Bad. Air quotes.
So LDL is actually two types of LDL in the body. You've got your big fluffy LDL. It's like, little clouds, fluffy little clouds.
Happy clouds.
Happy clouds. And then you have your BBs.
Those are amazing BBs.
Okay, yes, I know. So those are two different types that you have. Now, just looking at your cholesterol number, you can't tell which ones you have. Now, would you want big fluffy clouds running around your bloodstream, or would you want BBs in your arteries?
Big fluffy clouds.
Right. Okay, good. So, because BBs, those are the ones that actually kind of poke the holes. Now, I'm making this very simple because there's so many more things going on, but this is just so we can all kind of get on the same page here. And these little holes that get poked, that actually scars your arteries. The big fluffy clouds, you know what they do? They carry vitamins A, D, E, K, and CoQ10 to all of our organs and tissues. Think of LDL as a boat that carries all of these things to either damage tissues or to keep them functioning properly. So when we take a statin, what a statin does, those cholesterol-lowering medication, actually goes into your liver and it impairs the system that creates LDL. So yes, 3 months after getting on a statin, your LDL is going to go down, but to the expense of not being able to carry all of these things to your tissues, which decreases your body's ability to heal. CoQ10 is essential for heart health. So you're actually impairing the muscle tissue of your heart by taking a statin due to the way that it functions. Does that make any sense to anyone? Okay.
There was silence. I'm
Now,
guessing that's a no.
Now, as far as the BBs are concerned and the fluffy clouds, how can you actually tell? Well, there is a test that you can actually look at the particle sizes. Now, a statin does not change if you have fluffy clouds or you have BBs. It does not change that at all. It just decreases the amount of LDL. So then overall, it'll increase the amount of total cholesterol. Now, before 1987, before the first statin came on the market, 300 was considered normal for total cholesterol. At 350, your doctor starts going, maybe we need to start looking at some things.
Okay, wait. Just to back up, 300
was normal.
300.
300. Now they want you under 200. Well, did you know?
Okay, so that change happened with the
introduction of a pharmaceutical.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, because it used to be that a statin was only for a group of people that actually had a mutation on chromosome 19 that caused a hereditary form of hypercholesterolemia. Say that 10 times fast. And so it was an orphan drug. There wasn't enough people to make money back on the R&D. No, I don't need drawing.
Okay.
All right, we're changing back.
Changing back.
I don't need my pad anymore.
Okay.
I hope that helped anyway.
So R&D on it.
Yeah, so they weren't making enough money on this particular drug to make back all their research and development money. So what they did was they went to doctors and they said, hey, let's look, we see all this cholesterol in these arteries, why don't we lower the total cholesterol? You can give this drug to your patients and their cholesterol will go down because, cholesterol is the cause of heart disease. So they thought cholesterol is not the cause of heart disease. You already have heart disease if you have cholesterol in your arteries. Because what cholesterol is actually doing is it is going to where those little patches are, and it's creating a scab on those arteries. And if your body has lowered that inflammation, as we talked about earlier, that scab, just like a scab on your knee, will start to dissipate and you will not have clogged arteries. But if you continue to assault your body with the high fructose corn syrup, the other sugars, the processed foods, that scab will never have a chance to dissipate, will never have a chance to heal that area and go away.
Yeah.
That's heart disease. That's atherosclerosis. That is what you're looking at.
So the long and short of it is, if you have what might be considered in today's post-medication world as high cholesterol, that's something really to have a one-on-one with, because I know it can be really scary for a lot of people, but the truth is your body needs cholesterol. And so decreasing, especially, sometimes we see numbers that are like, in the 150.
Anything under 160 could actually increase your risk for cancer, suicidal tendencies, depression, infertility, erectile dysfunction.
And we've seen numbers like 150, and the patient will come in and they'll have their blood work and they'll be like, I'm so happy, look how good I am. And
they're subsequently on antidepressants, it's testosterone.
It's horrifying.
So, I just want to make you more comfortable with your numbers.
Yeah.
Because
that's really what
This is
it
a
comes down
disease
to.
created by the pharmaceutical industry
Yeah.
because they wanted more money.
But you have to be comfortable with it too, and that's why the one-on-one sit down would be really important, because if you're stressed out about it, well, that's not doing you any good either.
Right.
So let's talk about it specifically if that's your issue.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Really feeling that I want to exercise. I know it works, but I have too many pains that exercise affects.
That's very common.
Yeah. Yeah. So a couple of things come to mind. First of all, movement is really important.
Yeah.
And so many of us are just sitting all day long with a desk job, so that makes it really tough. And it's so tough on our body that it's really hard to even, like, you can't really counter a day of sitting by going to the gym for an hour. So just figuring out how to get more movement in throughout the day is really important.
A standing desk.
A standing desk,
A
a walk at lunch.
Yeah, or even you can even get a one of those Swiss balls, exercise balls you can sit on. They even make chairs that you can just sit it in.
Yeah, just be careful you don't.
Yeah, they do have handles on those chairs too.
I don't have to help you from that injury. But okay, so let's look at like how we view exercise a little bit, because sometimes I think that we can view exercise like another
Necessary evil.
necessary evil, almost like a pill. Like, I got to take my exercise now. Well, here we go.
Yeah.
And that's not.
It's not gonna work.
That's not helpful.
It's
not helpful.
At all.
Mm-mm.
It really isn't.
So what you're really looking for is functional movement and something that you enjoy. So remember, we already talked a little bit about your body as a feedback machine. So if you have too many pains that exercise affects, guess what that's telling you?
Don't do it.
Don't exercise. Now, that does not mean don't move. That
Right.
means you're not, whatever it was that you were, the cardio or whatever you were doing, that means that's not right for you. So seriously listen to that, because you're going to do more harm than good. It's not going to get you the results that you want.
Some people need to start with a simple walk around the block.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Or
matter.
less.
Or even less. You don't even
Yeah.
chair exercises. Do you remember that exercise lady that was on TV? She would do exercises in the chair.
In the chair.
Sometimes
How did
you
it
have
go?
to start there. Yeah, and she'd move. Sometimes you need to start there, and that's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what my new exercise routine is going to be right now because of an injured shoulder.
Yeah.
Just move. That is
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah. And so I would say kind of key things to keep in mind. Number one, if it hurts, don't do it, because that's your body's feedback, and you're just going to end up in a worse place than you were before.
And there's a difference between good hurt and bad hurt too.
Yeah. Yeah.
A good stretch is good, but
Yeah.
pain is different.
Hey, Emily.
Hey.
So yeah, muscle soreness, absolutely normal, not a bad thing at all. In fact, if you're not getting it, at least every once in a while, step it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But pain, like as far as, ooh, my body's really telling me not to do that, then okay, stop. Don't do that.
Remember, your body's smart.
And then the other thing is that it really should be enjoyable. So if you're taking exercise like a pill, you're like, okay, now I'm gonna go and get on the elliptical and I'm just gonna like zone out and watch my show because this is so horrible. I want to pretend like I'm in another world. That's not helpful for your being. That's not good for your soul, and it creates more stress than it is taken care of. So find something that you like. For me, I love hiking. That's where, like, if I got a little dirt somewhere on me, I'm pretty happy. And I love yoga. And then just being really active. I don't know if you guys noticed, but my job is kind of active, so that kind of keeps me going.
Yeah.
But Dr. Taylor has totally different things that she likes, and she's had a routine that she's just absolutely loved for many years with lifting heavy weights. very heavy things.
Yes, like to lift heavy things.
But now she has this shoulder injury, so she's at this place where she needs to figure out what else that she can do that's going to be good for her body, something that's enjoyable mentally so that she's not stressing herself out. If you have to check out, it's not right for you.
Right, so. Right. Something that's going to work my entire body, yet help continue the healing.
Nobody can tell you what your body needs better than your own body. Yes.
Very true. Very true, Emily.
Emily. Okay. Stiffness. I need to stretch more. This is probably true. You probably do need to stretch more.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know,
that's your body talking to you and you're listening. Awesome, awesome job.
So now we need to just to do it.
Yeah, do it.
And we've got some great stretches. If you know you're a patient here, we always give our patients unique exercises to what their body needs.
Yeah.
So you can get those personalized exercises as well.
Yeah. So there is that aspect to it as well, which is like you do have to mentally, if you're not used to moving and you don't have that kind of feedback that your body says, ooh, that feels good, let's do some more, then you're going to mentally have to go past that block and make yourself go and do something and find something that you do enjoy, because you're not really going to find the movement that you enjoy by sitting on the couch. At least that's not my experience. So there is that aspect. You have to make yourself find a few things that you do enjoy, but experiment, find something fun that doesn't hurt you.
And find a friend to do it with.
Yeah,
because
if you like friends.
Yeah, if you like people, you know. But, you know, sometimes, you know, like Dr. Christie, I know she likes to kind of hike and kind of be out there, sometimes just by herself, just to reflect and be there. And that's part of her emotional, just, I don't know, just getting back to it.
Yeah,
you know?
Makes my soul happy.
Yeah. And sometimes it's okay by yourself, but sometimes just to get your butt off the couch, you need somebody to pull you off of it. So incorporate your friends, your family members, you know.
Enlist people if necessary.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so we are getting close to the end, probably about 5 more minutes, and we'll need to wrap up. Okay, so nutrition or food related questions.
Okay, we're towards the end here too.
Yeah. Oh, look, that worked out well. Okay, how to eat clean on the go when you travel. And there's also a question that I skipped over a little bit, which was I don't cook a lot or spend time in the kitchen, mostly eat out. So let's kind of maybe combine those two.
Yeah.
Okay. So I hate to break it to you, but the long and short of it is if you're never cooking in the kitchen, you're not getting what you need.
Yeah.
And that doesn't, I am not a cook, so please do not get me wrong. You do not have to labor in the kitchen for hours, but you do have to be able to make yourself simple and nutrient dense foods.
Right.
Like that's just, so sorry.
Yeah.
So, you know, in our house during the week, you know, my husband and I both work. We're pretty busy. My husband likes to cook. Picked well. But you know, we simply do not have time. So our evening meals are very, very simple. We have usually some steamed vegetables and some meat of some kind. So grilled chicken or baked chicken or whatever the case may be. Well, we eat more than chicken, but a meat and a vegetable.
Yeah, keep it simple. And you know, vegetables too is, you know, canned is not healthy. Hands down. Canned vegetables are just not healthy. But if you don't find the time to go grocery shopping every week or every few days, frozen vegetables are just as good.
Yeah.
So keep them in your freezer, keep them ready to go. I find green beans work really well. Broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, they all kind of steam really well from the freezer. So, you know, you can have some fresh and you can have some frozen, just so you always have them on hand. Yeah. So you're not always without and then go, oh, I have nothing to eat at home.
Yeah.
Here comes the drive-through.
Right, and that's the thing too. Like so when we do our shopping, we buy a bunch of veggies about the amount that we know that we're going to eat during the week. And so that's a little bit of motivation too. Like, you know, your vegetables are going to rot in the fridge and you pay good money for them.
Yes.
Well, you might as well just steam them up and put a little butter on them. So
lots of butter.
Oh, lots of butter.
And that's really important.
Yeah, makes them taste good.
And when you put butter on your vegetables, most of the vegetables that you're really going to, I mean, most of the nutrients you're going to get from those vegetables are fat soluble.
Yeah.
So you need fat on top of your vegetables in order to absorb the nutrients.
Yeah.
So butter, lots of it.
Butter. And if you want to find out more ways to use your butter, drjensrecipes.com with 2 N's.
Lots of butter.
Okay, so I also love to travel, and once I really cleaned up my diet and I was eating really well, it made traveling not so much fun because it made my digestive tract miserable.
Yeah.
So I have an arsenal of things that I take with me, and it
This
literally
is your kit.
It is an
Travel
arsenal. Travel kit, yeah. Hey, J. Cody. We were just talking about lifting heavy things.
I like to lift heavy things.
Okay, so here's what I do when I travel. Okay, first of all, Prescripticus. So this is a probiotic that we have here in the office. It's soil-based organisms. So that means that it's super, super stable. You can throw this in your suitcase and it's not going to go bad. So I do a triple dose when I'm traveling. And if I am prepared enough ahead of time, I will even start to triple up on it beforehand.
Yeah.
So I'm not always that organized, but you know, when I am. So this helps to keep the gut flora that we were talking about really happy. So that's number 1. And then number 2 is when I am eating out, and I used to only do this if I felt that the restaurant was questionable, which happens when you travel, like it just does. But now I do it all the time, just across the board, because it helps me out. I use these 2 products. So this is Zypan and Digest Forte. And so Zypan is basically helps your stomach acid. It makes your stomach super acidic, which it's supposed to be, which kills off any bad guys. So if you're traveling, especially third world country or
Mexico,
or say Alabama. Okay, just kidding, Alabama's just kidding. And you might get something, this will help prevent food poisoning or upset stomach, things like that. The Digest Forte it helps to just bump up your normal digestion. So it helps your own body to do its work. And that's really, really helpful when you're getting stuff that your body might be like,
what did you just put in me?
what?
You know, when you eat a clean diet, your body can kind of go, right.
Your stomach is supposed to be super acidic. Yes. Like if your stomach got a hole in it, it should eat the rest of your body, which, you know, hopefully that doesn't happen, but it should be so acidic.
It's the only way you digest you absorb any minerals, especially, but also vitamins.
Yeah. Yeah. And kills off bacteria that shouldn't be there. And then to top off this whole routine, if I feel like I've gotten something that I shouldn't have eaten, clay. So this is a bentonite clay in tablet form. I like the tablet. Some people drink it straight, but that's a little bit like slurping out of a mud puddle, in my opinion.
Yes.
So 3 of these if I feel like I've gotten something that I shouldn't. And this keeps my tummy happy. And so if you're traveling a lot, I highly recommend this. Is tested by yours truly. And yeah, I travel a lot, so this is something that makes my trips enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm making sure to get this before I go to Mexico this summer.
Yeah, like on my honeymoon, I spent a day in bed because my stomach was so upset. So enough of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy the time I'm away. So, okay. So we're at 48 minutes and we said 45.
Yeah. If I'll answer Julie's question here. It should only take about 30 seconds if you want to stick with us. So she wanted to know about acidic versus alkaline. This is something that's going crazy. You know, everybody says if you have an alkaline body, you can't get cancer. Well, the truth of the matter is that your body needs to be both acidic and alkaline at the same time.
Yeah.
Like we just said, you cannot absorb minerals or vitamins if your stomach is not super acidic. We're talking like burn a hole in the carpet acidic. Your stomach is designed to deal with that. It's the only part of your body that's designed to deal with that type of acidity. So if your stomach isn't acidic, it's alkaline, you're not going to absorb your nutrients, hands down. There's areas of the intestines that must be acidic in order to, again, to further absorb the nutrients that your body is breaking down and taking in. Now, other areas of your body can be alkaline and be very, very healthy. Yeah. So there is a balance there. It's not one way or the other. It's just simply is not.
And when you look specifically at the stomach, if your stomach is not acidic enough, it creates all sorts of trickle-down effects that just like
osteoporosis.
Like you can't even imagine the amount. And it basically is because you're nutrient deficient, because you can't absorb things properly. So, Shara, yes, I will post that travel kit on the blog, HealthWorks at HealthWorksTX. All right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and
it was so much fun, you guys.
Yeah, we really hope to do this more often because I had a lot of fun.
I did too.
So this is our first time doing this. So for those of you that joined us today, we will let you know the next time we're going to do this because I want to do this more often, and bring your friends.
Yeah, bring friends. And then, so when we're not live, we're always at HealthWorks TX on YouTube, on Facebook, blog, Twitter, the works, and at Dr. Christy on Pinterest is true. I love Pinterest, but Instagram is my favorite. So, love you guys. Talk to you later.
Bye.